Springfield Prodigy, Swamp Fox, Justice. Checking to see if it holds 0 at 15 yards, 160 rounds. We're gonna do 3 shots, 15 yards. Double check and see if the 0 is holding. I think that was a spider. Slightly unsettled. I think a spider just webbed down in front of me. I hate spiders. 3-round group, 15 yards. Like I said, around 160 rounds. Took me about 15 rounds to 0 it earlier. That'll show up in a YouTube upload. This is the 3-round group. I just shot 2 here and, 1 up a little bit. That's just human error. So 0 is holding at 15 yards, running with the RMR Plate with the Swamp Fox Justice, which I got it used pretty cheap. It's actually a pretty big window. I mean, I wouldn't, I don't think it's definitely not. I don't think it's a duty optic, but it's definitely not bad, especially for the price. Nice big window. Liking it so far. Definitely better than the Hollow Sun case. Not necessarily, not durability, but just, I like the big window. Let's keep going here. And like I said, I'm going to probably put all this in my first impressions video, which is probably going to have me probably close to 500 rounds, around 500 rounds when I upload that video, just due to some of the issues that I had early on with the plates coming loose when I was running with the RMSC plate. So anyways, looking good so far. Hopefully it holds. Doing a quick first impressions video on the Springfield Armory Prodigy. This is the commander length, 4 1/4. Bull barrel, I guess 2011 or 1911 double stack. Just to put it out there, this is the first 1911 period that I've ever owned. I have shot some 2 different Descatos before. I think it was the C2 and the XC, I believe. They were just rentals at the range, not far from where I live, excuse me. Just to go over just a couple things real quick, just to get them out of the way. I do like the texture. It's actually really, it feels like sandpaper, the texture here. So you're not going to lose this. You're not going to lose this grip. Honestly, I doubt, even if it's pretty hot, I haven't had any issues with grip. But this is actually probably one of the few things with some of the Staccatos I've used. I actually prefer this. It doesn't look as nice, like visually, aesthetically, but it definitely feels better in the hand, and it's definitely, I will get a better purchase. I do like that. The trigger is not bad. You got a curved trigger here. I do prefer flat face triggers. That might be something worth looking at. I know a lot of people have changed out a lot of the meme parts on these, trigger probably being one of them. It's a nice looking gun. I've put 500 rounds through it, and I've had 1 malfunction to speak of, and it was a failure to eject, which I'm going to take the fault on that. I was kind of, I guess you could say, playing with my grip, adjusting my grip a little bit, and I did get a failure to eject early on. Like I said, 500 rounds. I don't normally run 500 rounds before doing a first impression video. I had some other things going on with some other guns, not to mention some issues with the plate system, which I'll get to. But yeah, 500 rounds, 1 malfunction, which I'm almost certain that was my fault with the poor grip. Another thing, I don't want to, it's not going to be a comparison video. And I know most people compare this to a staccato, for, you know, whatever reason. I guess that's, maybe they feel that's the closest competitor or whatever. But I'm only doing it because I've only shot a staccato, which would be the most similar firearm to this. I've never shot any other ones besides a staccato, and that was just at the range. But it does, I think this is meme too, the safety. Oh, real quick, we are empty. For those that are, got the safety on there, turn that off. We are empty, okay, for those that care. It does come with a 20 and a 17 round mag. Just so you know, if you already don't know that. This here is what I wanted to get to. I lost my trail of thought there. I believe this is meme too. And when you're doing it like this is easy. But like, it can be a bit of a, it's actually not bad. We're actually right now, it's actually kind of coming up a little easier for me. But sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, I have difficulty. It's easy to deactivate, but activating it, it's a little rough. It's a little hard on your thumb. And then sometimes, I don't know what it is. I think it's loosened up over 500 rounds. But this can be a little bit of a pain to activate, just going like this. You know, you really got to get the right placement under it, or I can't get it. And from what I read, some of you can correct me, when it comes to mean parts, you just kind of, like, this is going to vary from person to person as far as fitment goes, since it's not hand fitted. But I actually do like these safeties, especially for carry purposes. I don't have any issue back here with this. This is fine. I have never had an issue in the 500 rounds deactivating this. Optics dirty. I actually just came back from the range here. I've never had an issue. This works. This is fine. This here could be better, but it works. It does its job. Like I said, you got your curved trigger. It's not bad. I can show it to you here real quick. You got a little bit of take up here, right here. So right here, and you hit a solid wall. And I'm an idiot. I had the thingy on there. So let's go back to this. So here you go, right here, that little bit of take up. And then you get a clean break. Let's do that again here. I'll show you the reset. The reset's a little gritty. Just a little bit right there. It's a little bit of grit in there when it feels like when it's coming out. And then you get your click right there. And then it breaks clean. So I'm thinking that'll probably clean up over time. This gun is dirty. It does need cleaned as well. But right there. Right there. Yeah, so it's a nice trigger. Doesn't feel as smooth as the staccatos that I've used. But I think it'll improve over time. But it's a nice trigger. It's still pretty much better than virtually any striker fire pistol with the trigger, which, you know, that's just kind of, you know, that's just a platform in general. Well, I don't know about in general, but, you know, the ones I've used, these are all excellent triggers, better than pretty much anything I've shot on a striker fire gun. So there's that. To get back to the plate issue that I mentioned earlier, I have an RMR plate on here now, which I purchased off of Gunbroker. Originally, I had purchased one for the, I think it's the Hollow Sun K, so the RMSC plate. I can't remember what the, I don't know if it's A12 or A14. I don't remember which is which, but it was the RMSC plate. And I bought that directly from Springfield along with an extra magazine at the time. And so basically the first couple hundred rounds with this gun, like, I mounted it up, put the plate on, Loctited it. And not this one. This is, I already sent the other one back. But this kept constantly coming loose. It kept falling off the rear sight. And then the plate kept coming loose through the slide. I tried it twice and it kept coming loose. This always kept falling off. The optic never came loose from the plate though, but the plate that the slide I had issues with the RMSE plate. I looked online. Some people just mentioned that, you know, just to run some, I guess, thread cleaner down in there, which this is what I bought, if anyone's wondering. I just kind of like tried to like put that in there a little bit with a Q-tip. I couldn't really fit it in there as well as I would have liked, but I cleaned it up some. But I didn't end up, I ended up returning that plate because, like I said, this sight kept falling off too. And then Springfield Armory, just for whatever reason, just never got them back in stock. And then I decided that I wanted to go to an RMR plate. So I even called them and I asked them to send me an RMR plate. But then, you know, so much time went by and they weren't sending it. And I kind of got tired of waiting because I wanted to, you know, bring it out here so I can kind of work on it a little bit more. Maybe get this first impressions video out. So that was a few weeks there. And I saw them on Gunbroker, and they were actually a little cheaper for the RMR plate. And I mainly want to get an RMR plate is because Trijicon has the new optics coming out, which I plan to check out. So I wanted an RMR plate. I do plan to probably mount a RMR HD on here in the future. But for now, I have this old Swamp Fox Justice on here, which is actually a pretty nice optic, you know, for the money. And it has a big window. It's dirty. Like I said, I just came back from the range. It needs cleaned up here. But it's a big window, you know. It just definitely got some dirt on there that needs wiped off, which I haven't gotten around to yet. But anyways, with the RMR plate, so far I've put, you know, a couple hundred rounds on it, over 200 rounds. Probably, I don't know the exact number to break up between the first plate and this plate. But over 250, probably about half of that 5. And no issues at all. The other one was coming loose less than 70 rounds, 80 rounds. You were not getting to 100 rounds. So it could have been the fact that I just needed to clean out the threads. It could have been that. I'm not 100% convinced it was just that, especially with this rear sight. The disc on the other one, not this one, it just kept falling off. And I mean, I guess some people probably Loctite that, but whoever heard of, I mean, I've never heard of, you know, in my short time anyways, of Loctiting a rear sight on a plate that, you know, would keep falling off. But I think there was just something wrong with that plate. I think there was just something about it just wasn't right. So I think it was just a defective plate overall. And like I said, either way, I did clean the threads out, and I've had no issues with this so far, you know, 250 rounds. We'll say. So there's that. I'm trying to think here. Outside of that, the guns, it's just been reliable. Like I said, I had one malfunction with it, and excuse me, bumping the camera here, and that was it. I'm pretty sure that was user induced, and that's over 300 rounds. Now, before I wrap up this video here, and I do plan to do a 1,000-round review on this. Just one thing for anyone that's looking at these, I don't know, this one here was purchased this year, just not long ago, a couple months ago, and I think they have made some adjustments from what I hear. But I can tell you, I did research on it. I looked up issues, and apparently, I guess it's the I keep bumping the camera. I apologize. The Cerakote inside, and I guess some people were having issues where it's just getting gummed up as they run it. So some people recommended, I wish I could think of some of their names off the top of my head, but there was a few different ones I read, and I saw some YouTube videos. I apologize, not to give them the credit, but they just recommend racking this a lot before you run it, you know, and I end up racking it. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I racked and racked. I mean, I don't want to say thousands of times, but it felt like it. And I had a whole bunch of just gunk. This is some oil, actually. But I had just, like, thick gunk. Like, you know, it almost looked just like grease. It just kind of just was, like, just like leaking and just like kind of, I didn't lube it up or nothing. I just was just racking it, and it was just, all this stuff was just coming up, and it was thick, and it was just coming up, especially out of the back here. So I racked and racked, and I'd wipe it off, and I racked and I racked it and wiped it off. And I did that over the course of a couple of days. Every day I'd come down before I took it to the range, and I'd rack it a few hundred times. Another day, rack it a few hundred times. Like I said, it was probably a couple thousand over a decent amount of time before I took it to the range, before I actually ever fired it. I took it apart just to, you know, clean it out. And as I said earlier in the video, I'm new to the platform, so not as easy to take down as a Smith & Wesson like M&P or even the new Springfield Echelon that I actually picked up not long ago either. I had a little bit of a field day taking apart. I watched some videos. It's not super complicated. I know some people have changed the two-piece guide rod, I guess, into a single piece. I guess that would help. It's just different. It's just different. It's just not what I'm used to, and I haven't been into firearms for a very long time. So, and everything I've had up to this point was a striker fire gun, you know, like a Smith & Wesson M&P. I've had a shadow system in the past. You know, a Taurus, Canix, and you know, they're not super complicated to take apart. Like I said, not super complicated, but it definitely, putting this back in is the hard part for me. Like when you're sliding it and you're putting it back together. If you're new to it, I would just recommend watching a video of someone do it before you do it. That's all. But one thing I will say, actually, another thing here, I'll quick add, because this video is already going on 15 minutes, and I do plan to incorporate a little bit of shooting footage in here in the first impressions video, is that these magazines, I don't know if maybe some people have had issues with them. I haven't had no issues with the 17 or the 20, and these are super easy to load. These are the easiest magazines that I've ever had to load. I don't know if my EULA loader would even fit this, because this is a pretty fat magazine, but I don't need it. Like it's that easy to hand load this with just your hands and your thumbs, where like my M&P magazines, or you know, whether the M&P or the Shield, or really most of my other firearms, it's definitely harder to load them. But these magazines, super easy to load. So big plus on that. Just wanted to point that out real quick. Another thing real quick here, the mag release is extended really far off, so you're not going to have any issue at all activating that. To lock it back, you just have to kind of line it up right here, right in there, to lock it back. It's a nice looking gun, nice looking firearm. I do like it. Maybe down the road, maybe I'll make some changes to it. But for now, it's just 100% stock, and it runs good. It runs good, like I said, just 500 rounds, one user-induced malfunction, and that's all I have to speak of right now. So I will, I'll end this video here. If there's something I overlooked or missed, you know, if you have any questions or something you're interested in, just post them down in the comment section, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I appreciate you taking the time out to watch the video, and have a good day.